Hey, Papa Fur coming at you on day 4 of Mission Possible. Wow, this week is flying by. We have time for another question, though, for our young adult leaders and that very special cook of the day. Today's question is, with all the experience that we've gained in our lifetime, if you had an opportunity to go back in time, what piece of advice would you give to your younger self?
Hello, Appalachia family. It is Zach Collins here, standing in the water. Pretty cool vibe. But on a much more serious note, for this question of the Mission Possible series, we have what would you tell your younger self? It's a great cue. I would say don't be afraid to be your authentic self. And don't be afraid to, be you and be proud of it. That's all I got. Love you guys.
Hey guys, it's Sarah. If I could tell my younger self any piece of advice, I would say to be myself, don't change for anyone, and trust that any challenges you've had to overcome are for a reason, and it's all part of God's plan. So just have trust in God and just don't worry about what people think of you, and yeah.
I think one piece of advice I'd love to give my younger self would be to be patient. You know, I grew up as the youngest of 4, and I always wanted to be like my older siblings and do what they did and be a part of everything, and I knew I had to grow up in order to do that. But I think I'd love to just tell myself to be patient, you know, and kind of anxiety really sets in when I'm worried about the future. And when I'm living in the past, I'm kind of depressed and I feel anxious about that as well. So I just tell myself to be present. You know, it's called presence because it's a gift. It's a gift from God. And that's the only way we can encounter him the best. All right, see you.
Knowing what I know today, looking back at my future self, I would tell myself to stop caring so much about what other people think, what other people have, what other people are doing, and to just live your life, because the Lord has a plan specifically for you, and he cares about you deeply and loves you so much that it doesn't matter what other people think. It only matters what he thinks, and to strive for that.
Hi, it's Michelle. If there's one thing I had to tell my younger self, it would be that nobody cares as much as you do. So if you're ever feeling embarrassed or like someone will judge you, we are our biggest critics, and no one's watching you that close. They're thinking about themselves just like we are. So just do what feels right, do the right thing, and God will pave the right path for you, and you'll end up where you need to be.
Hi everyone, it's Carly. If I were to give my younger self a piece of advice, it would probably be to not be so all up in my head and that everything happens for a reason, and that it's all going to be okay. Because if it's not going to stress you out in 5 years, do not give it a second thought most of the time. So yeah, I would tell my younger self to just trust myself and stop worrying about every little detail, and that it's all going to work out. So yeah, bye.
Wow, well said, he or she. So this is Wobbit from Team 2, and my advice to my younger self would be to stay calm, relax. Everything happens for a reason, and everything will work out great. Just because you failed doesn't mean you should be sad or upset. Just know something great will come at the end of the day. So stay positive, relax, stay calm, and have a good day.
What's up, everybody? Adam here again. If I had to tell my younger self one thing, it would be to embrace who you are and to love yourself. I always continue to find myself comparing myself to others, especially on social media. Am I a good enough student? Was I a good enough student? Am I good enough at my job? Was I good enough at sports? Am I a good enough friend? Am I a good enough uncle? And I never take the time to appreciate what I have done for those. And I think a lot of people just give and love others, but they don't give themselves that. And I often tell myself as I, show that love to others, sometimes I wish I had a mirror in front of me and I was able to tell myself the same things. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Katie. One thing I would tell my younger self is that everything tends to work out. I'm normally pretty worried about everything. I don't like change very much, so just trusting that like everything will work out, everything will be okay. You might not know exactly what you're doing right now, but you'll figure it out eventually.
Hi guys, if I could go back and tell my younger self anything, I would tell myself to more fully commit to the mission trip experience. My first few years, probably just the first and second, I felt like there was some things where I was just going through the motions for. If I could go back, I would tell myself to fully commit to pour my entire self and fully commit to grow and learn from these experiences. And I think that I would be even further in my faith if I did that.
Advice I would give to my younger self is that you do not have to have everything figured out. I think I spent a lot of time when I was in high school and in college trying to plan out my life so perfectly and have everything figured out. I put a lot of pressure on myself to be perfect and really struggled with perfectionism. And I think I missed out on a lot of opportunities and just a lot of enjoyment in life. That gave me a lot of anxiety living that way, and I think that I would have had a lot more joy in my life if I just took myself less seriously and just pursued things that that made me happy, and not to try to overthink or try to be perfect because no one has it figured all out. We're all on this journey together.
Piece of advice I would give my younger self would be to slow down, take a deep breath, and just be present. I think in the hustle and bustle of life, it's so easy to get caught up and focus on what's next, what's your next goal, what's your next objective, and we forget about being present and being focused on enjoying the moment that we're in. I think that's such a great part about Webster Springs and the Appalachian Mission Trip is we all get this moment in time where it seems like time doesn't exist. We get to be authentic and present in the most real sense of it, and that's why I love this trip. And I wish I could go back and tell myself that at a younger age.
Hi, I'm Kat. We have hummingbirds here, which I love hummingbirds. Okay, anyway, if I could tell my younger self one thing, it would be respectfully and nicely to shh. I saw an interview by Chris Evans, who plays Captain America, and he just wanted to tell his younger self to stop worrying and live life and learn from other people. It's okay to fail and make mistakes as long as you grow from it. So that's what I would tell myself. Here's some special guests. Okay, bye.
Okay, hi, I'm Sharon, and I've been coming on this trip probably 8 to 10 years, and I instructed to tell you if I could go back to my younger age and tell myself, my younger self, what I would do differently, basically. And I would say, don't put off until tomorrow what you want to do today. My husband and I have done a lot of traveling and a lot of everything when I was well, but suddenly, when you get ill or injured, you can't do it anymore. And so many people say, I'm going to do that later. I'm going to go on this trip. I'm going to just do anything after I retire. Don't wait. While you're young, do whatever it is you think you want to do and do it now. So come and join us on our mission trip. We have a great time here. We're doing God's work, and I invite everybody to come along. Thank you.
Yes, yes. What great advice, young adults and cook of the day. If I generalize, it's why are we so anxious about the future and not living in the present? I can certainly relate. Well, thanks. That's a wrap on day 4 of Mission Possible. Tune in tomorrow for our last and final day of Mission Possible 2025. But before we go, let me ask you this question. Have you ever considered the fact that there's somebody who gave his life to take on our stresses, our anxieties, so that we can live a life of peace in Him.